What's up, players? This is my first instructional video, which I'm pretty excited to do, and I think it's a good one because it's about what you're doing wrong with kickflips, because I feel like even if people learn how to do kickflips and then proceed forward, nollie flips, whatever, they end up kind of losing kickflips and losing how to do it the right way. But it's one of the most important things in skating. It's like learning an ollie pretty much, because nowadays people kickflip into everything and kickflip down everything, and it's kind of the key basis to all flip tricks. So yeah, I'm going to show you how to do them better and tell you what you're probably doing wrong, because if you're doing something wrong with kickflips and if they're not the way you want them, I guarantee you one of the issues is one of these 5. Issue number 1. It's the main issue that most people deal with, and I think it is not popping hard enough and flicking fast enough. And I think this is pretty much the key to doing a good kickflip in general. Focusing a lot on this will make your kickflips a lot better. And it seems like it's obvious, like, okay, of course I'm gonna pop and flick fast, but it's a very conscious effort. When you go to pop, make sure your right foot is hitting the ground hard, that's if you're regular, and make sure you're flicking really fast, and the board will work with you. And I'm telling you, this will drastically change kickflips if you actually put effort and thought into doing it well. Okay, so issue number 2 is that your feet positioning is probably pretty whack. I think it's the same basis of an ollie. I think your back foot is the same place, and I think your front foot is just slightly to the left and curved a little bit. So when you go to pop and flick, you do everything that you would for an ollie, but the last thing you flick off the corner, makes the board flip, goes high, but you make sure that your feet are right from the get-go, so you don't have to worry about that later on. Okay, so issue number 3 is that you're probably flicking down instead of out. And that's a huge mistake a lot of people make on a lot of flip tricks, and I even fall victim to it for certain ones. For switch flips, it was a little harder for me to figure out how to get to flick out instead of down. But donkey kicking does not get your board where you want it to be, doesn't get it up a ledge especially, doesn't get it up in the air at all actually. So yeah, just make sure you're flicking out off the nose instead of off the side somewhere like you would for maybe a late flip, or, you know, I don't know what tricks you would do off the side. I don't think you're supposed to do any like that, so flick out, not down. Okay, so issue number 4 is that your legs are probably pretty weak. And that's kind of annoying to hear because people want to think, oh, I need to be strong and tough and work out to do a good kickflip. Not really. Certain muscles are developed when doing certain tricks, and kickflips have a certain muscle on your right leg that develops. I don't know which one, but I definitely can feel it and I know something's there. So practice kickflips a lot, and that's kind of the only way to do a really, really solid kickflip and learn how to do them really well. But what's funny is I know that seems like a very obvious direction, but a lot of people who can do nollie tray flip manual 900s out are like, for some reason I can do all these crazy tricks but I can't do a kickflip well. And I'm like, well, how often do you sit there and actually practice kickflips and doing them well? And you know, it's never. So if you actually sit there, take the time to learn it, you're gonna learn a good kickflip. There is no doubt about it. So the final one I'm gonna leave you with is issue number 5. And that is using your back foot to stop the rotation. Not your front foot, not even really both feet. I think it's mainly your back foot. When you go to pop and you flick and it flicks fast, I feel like the best way to know that you're doing a kickflip correctly is to have your back foot stopping it. And usually, if you can do it well enough, you can stop it as it's going up. But you don't necessarily have to do that to have a good kickflip. You just have to make sure it stops it, period. And have your front foot in the air, out. Once you learn the kickflip correctly, take it to the biggest obstacle at your skate park and just go ham with it. Alright, thanks again for tuning in and watching that entire video. We'll have more untraditional trick tips in the future, and maybe some videos about the psychology behind skateboarding and just advice in general on to make yourself the best skateboarder you can possibly be. Because I think if you ask any of the higher ups, there's definitely a huge thought process that goes into being who they are, and why certain people skate for just as long and aren't like that, but just kind of never really exceed a certain point in skating. And it's because of a certain way to live and a certain way to think. And some people have it dialed, but you know, we actually have the knowledge here, so subscribe and share, let your friends know, because we'll have cool things for you in the future, especially if you skateboard. Actually, pretty much if you're a skateboarder, you're good, so come by.